Drug dealers were busted after forgetting their big bag of Special K on the train and asking employees to help find it. A woman abducts a boy and then abandons him after discovering his religion. And a Norwegian fisherman accidentally caught a U.S. submarine in his net. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the ocean. Drug dealers were busted after forgetting a big bag of Special K on the train and asking the station employees for help tracking it down. These bumbling drug dealer fools, Tweedledee and Tweedledumbass here, leaving their drugs on the train. This is why you don't get high off your own supply. That's rule number one of dealing the narcotics. You don't get high off your own supply. These drug-dealing morons from England were busted. The drug-dealing duo left, quote, a hefty amount of ketamine. I guess that's their big bag of Special K. You guys know they call it Special K? They also call it Kitty Flip, which I think is a hilarious name for a drug. It sounds like candy. You want some Kitty Flip? Okay, so they left their hefty amount of ketamine in a bag on a train. And then they got off the train and realized they forgot it. They reported it missing to staff members. So at what point did they figure out it was missing? I mean, would you step off the train? Was that the moment, or did they get all the way home? Then they call the train company. Yeah, we left a bag. At that moment that they called or reached out to staff members for help to report it missing. Do you have it lost and found? Apparently, the staff were already in contact with the police because they found a big bag of Special K on the train. That's not ordinary. I don't know why you would think that you could then call and they're going to hold on to it for you. You think they're just going to be able to pick up your drugs, bro? You think they wouldn't open it to see? People be leaving explosive devices on trains, so they're obviously going to inspect the damn thing before they put it in the old lost and found. I mean, it's truly a miracle that drugs are able to move around between dealers and customers because they're so dumb. These drug dealers are so dumb. Well, Trump ought to nominate these bright young geniuses for the heads of the Department of Transportation. But, they're not in the U.S. Okay, let's get some more details here. We have Jordan McCourt Knight, age 30, and Harley Hall, age 28. They reported the missing bag of ketamine, which had a street value of about $50,000. All right, so that was a pretty hefty bag. Ordinarily wouldn't leave a bag worth $50,000 on a train unless you're extremely blasted. This is like some Three Stooges shenanigans. Do you got the bag? I thought you had the bag, Mo. Who got the bag? I don't have the bag. No. That's my Three Stooges impression. Is it any good? Probably not. Okay, so police were able to nab these guys for being part of a major drug trafficking ring. It's probably not a very successful ring of drug dealers. There's a lot of drugs being left on public transportation and other places. They nabbed McCourt Knight with drugs at his house. Also, lots of drug. You know the word, guys. Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Paraphernalia. And a lot of drug paraphernalia. Also, several cell phones and more than $2,000 in cash. Hall was arrested and police found thousands of dollars in cash as well, and more than a kilogram of marijuana. Investigators found that these boys were in direct communication with some international drug suppliers, sourcing numerous Class A, B, and C drugs, which were then supplied throughout various parts of the UK. Yeah, I mean, some of it was supplied, some of it was lost along the way, and some of it went right up their nose. I'll bet. These smarty pants ought to move to Florida. They'll fit right in with those people that get caught with the bag full of drugs labeled not a bag of drugs. Am I right? Okay, McCourt Knight pleaded guilty. It is going to do 6 years, and Hall pleaded guilty as well, and will go to jail for 5 years. In the U.S., no one ever pleads guilty, but I notice other countries, they often plead guilty. In the U.S., it's not guilty, not guilty. They have video footage of you doing it. No, not guilty, not guilty. And then ties up our justice system. We all have to pay for that. Isn't it a lovely system that we have? It's so great. I'm such a supporter of it. Have you been to jury duty? A woman abducted a boy and then abandoned him after discovering his religion. This happened to me once. Someone abducted me and then they found out I'm a Patriots fan. They were like, ew, so throw it back, throw it back. A 46-year-old Indian woman was arrested last week for allegedly kidnapping a 4-year-old boy from a footpath near Red Fort. It's hard to believe there's a place in India called Red Fort, but apparently there is. Red Fort's got some footpaths. She then abandoned the boy following the abduction the very same day after realizing that he is from a different religion, according to the police. The child was thankfully rescued a day after he was kidnapped. So would you chalk this up as a win? I'm not sure. There's a lot of behavior I don't approve of in here. Let's see if we can unpack this strange situation regarding religion, which makes some people do insane things around the world. Do you recall the story I did a few days ago about the brothers that killed the other brother for bringing chicken into the house? All right. Deputy Commissioner of Police Rajabanthia said that Rakna Devi, a resident of Krishnanagar in East Delhi, was nabbed from a residence. Wow, I really flew over those Indian names. That was pretty impressive. Police say they were informed about the kidnapping. When they reached the spot, the boy's mother, Ruxana, told them that she stays with her son on the footpath near the parade ground. Doesn't sound like they're living in the best of circumstances here. They reside on a footpath. There's probably they don't even have a closing door that locks. No wonder why the boy was nabbed. It's rough stuff going on in India. Sometimes you think to yourself, hey, life isn't going so good. But then many of us can say, hey, at least I wasn't born in India. So Weird AF News, making you feel good about your life. Now, the mother says she went to use the public toilet, and on returning, her son was missing about 10:30 in the morning. While checking, police were informed that a child had been lodged in an observation home in Shastri Park. Subsequently, the child was counseled, medically examined, and handed over to the mother. Okay, well, you skipped the part where you found him lodged in an observation home. Looks like the woman was found, this is the woman who kidnapped him, was found roaming in the area for long before she finally picked up the child and left when his mother was not around. It says while tracing her route, a footage was found in which she was seen in an auto rickshaw with the child. The auto driver was traced, and he told the police that he had dropped her at Silampur Chowk. All right, are we following this? Whoever wrote this doesn't have all their I's dotted and T's crossed. It was probably written by AI. This woman was identified, then arrested from her home. During interrogation, she told the police that she has 2 daughters and wanted a son, but wasn't able to conceive a child, so she decided to kidnap a boy. Any old boy. She brought him home and realized that he wasn't from the same religion as hers, so she abandoned him on the road. It's a strange interview question regarding the child you just abducted. And what religion are you? Ooh, that's not going to work with our household. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to drop you off back on the road. May God be with you. It turns out, guys, our religion can save you after all. Okay, so she dropped the child off at the side of the road. A passerby then spotted the boy crying on the road and informed a nearby shelter home where the child was then lodged, according to the police. Doing a lot of lodging over there in India. Okay, that's the end of the article. I need more information. What religion is she? What religion is the child? One of them is Hindu, I assume, and the other one is not. Okay, another article. Got me some details here. Turns out that the child is Muslim, and she was able to discern that he's Muslim by noticing he was circumcised. So that's apparently that's a no-no in the Hindu religion. It's quite taboo for the Hindus to be circumcised. So she wasn't going to be able to pawn off that he was hers, being that he was clearly Muslim. If you checked, she might want to check. Maybe look under the hood before you nab the child. This whole thing is so bizarre. But scored one for racism for once. So came through in this instance. This kid's gonna be and brought back to his family, which is nice. I think we can learn something here, guys. If you ever get kidnapped, just pretend you're of a different religion. Pretend you're the girl in The Exorcist, whatever she had. That's, nobody wants to bring home a child possessed by a demon, right? Can you make your head spin? Can you just projectile vomit across the room? It might save you. Start practicing now.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means. It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop Black Friday week deals now.
Just remember it's weird news and it'll be alright. Beep. A Norwegian fisherman accidentally caught a U.S. submarine in his fishing nets. Well, that's a hell of a catch, right? That Norwegian fisherman later that night at the bar was like, I swear it was this big, I tell ya. It's the biggest one I ever caught. I don't even know you could pull up a submarine in fishing nets. How strong are these fishing nets, man? Can you really do that? Sweep up a submarine like it's a bunch of shrimp? A Norwegian fisherman made a surprising catch in the form of a U.S. submarine. His name is Harald Engen. He was delivering a catch of halibut to the village of Malangen on Norway's west coast. You know the place. Beautiful countryside. This is when he got an unusual message. He was told that the propellers of a submarine had become tangled in his nets and had dragged them 2 nautical miles out to sea. The 377-foot nuclear-powered USS Virginia. Oh, that's a nuclear-powered submarine. I think that's a big one, right? You would think that they wouldn't be caught by the boat. You would think it's more like they caught the boat. This guy's lucky they didn't drag him down under, I'd imagine. This submarine probably weighs much more than the fishing boat. Well, let's keep reading and let's find out how Harold prepared the submarine. Can you sushi it? How do you eat it? You eat it fried with chips, or do you pickle it? Got a lot of questions here. I'm just going to tell you right now that my tuna fish is not only dolphin safe, but I like it submarine safe. Yeah, you don't want a sharp piece of metal in your tuna fish, or a periscope either. It's not going to add to the flavor. All right, it says here the Coast Guard helped untangle the submarine from the nets by cutting it. They cut the nets. Nobody was hurt in the incident. And it says Harold wasn't very angry. He says the Coast Guard has promised to replace his nets for him. So he's going to get his nets replaced. He'll be out there fishing in no time, I'd imagine. I recommend catching some fish, Harold, not extremely large metal tubings. Get the fish, Harold. It says here, in case you're wondering what the submarine is doing over there, there have been multiple U.S. naval deployments in the waters in recent months amid increased cooperation between Norway and the U.S. So got some submarines chilling up there. There are worse places to be deployed, I'd say. It also says here the U.S. Navy's Virginia-class submarine program is projected to run $17 billion over budget. I don't know why they put that in there. Well, that's very American because $17 billion over budget. Actually, that's nothing. That's nothing. Have you seen our big budget? I mean, that's, we're doing trillions, baby, trillions. All right, you come talk to me when it's trillions over the budget, then I'll be impressed. Everybody, 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 oh, everybody, everybody buys me coffee. He buys me coffee. Not everybody, but some people do. Some people are very generous, like Michelle and Chef John that bought me coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. Now, this was in my spam folder for a few days, so I apologize. And it was supposed to be timely. It's a birthday shout out, so I apologize, guys. It was in my spam folder. But here's the note. Hey, Jonesy, here's some coffee and a request for Tuesday, 11/19, to give a birthday shout out and birthday love to my wife, Michelle Blewett. So Michelle Blewett, longtime friend and supporter of the podcast. Michelle's bought me coffees many times. We've had interactions many times. The note says, she's probably what you would call an OG fan and is also a patron as well, getting to see the other weird content. This year has sucked massively. Michelle was diagnosed with breast cancer in the spring, and the rest of the year was spent with chemo, then surgery, and now we've won the fight with only radiation left to go, but it's been rough. Listening to the podcast daily has really helped us to relax and forget about the stresses of life, and that's just a great way to end the day. So please send the birthday wishes, and good luck with your life, man. Oh, look at that. So we got birthday wishes. I'm a couple days late on this one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm traveling, and I'm just barely getting these episodes out. But yeah, and this was in my spam folder. So we want to wish Michelle a happy birthday, obviously. And congratulations on the success. And I'm so happy to hear that the surgery was a success and that there's only radiation left to go. And, you know, it's got to be difficult to go through such things. I know I've had people close to me go through these things, and it's really hard. It's really hard for everybody around, but especially the patient, obviously. I'd imagine it's you get to the point where you're like, how do I even go on with life right now? It's the worst, right? Well, listening to the podcast daily has helped a bit, so I'm happy to hear that. You know, I don't know if I was going through that, I would need a lot more than podcasts, I think. So I'm happy to be able to contribute to the well-being of anybody and to help, you know, anyone get through what they need to get through. When I started this podcast years and years and years ago, I never thought it would bring much joy to anybody. I was very pleasantly surprised over the years to hear first-person stories and anecdotes about how it's helped people. And in this case, someone that who's an OG fan of the show, Michelle, who I've been in contact with for quite a while. So shout out to Michelle and John as well. And, you know, we wish her complete recovery and looking forward to hearing the news of that as well. So here's wishing the Blewett family a happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday as well. And if you guys would like to buy me a coffee and request a birthday wish or a happy holiday wish, you could do that right on the coffee. You can write that thing. You can also, I'm also on, what's that called? Cameo, the Cameo. Yes, you can pay me to make a video for you, like a personalized video. I can't remember my Cameo account. I'm so bad. I'm terrible at all of this. How am I even surviving this long? I don't even know. I'll put a link to it anyways, or just DM me. Just DM me or email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. I'm at funnyjones on Instagram, by the way. And as always, go to weirdafnews.com if you want to support the show by joining the Patreon or getting me a coffee and all that. All right, take care of yourself now. Oh, by the way, one last thing is Florida Friday, so send me Florida stories if you come across them. funnyjones@gmail.com, please. Thank you.